They laughed when they banned it. A smiling bee, gone overnight. The country said it was just fast food, not worth their culture, not worth their space. But they didn't know what was coming. They didn't know that what they banned would become something the whole world would soon crave. This is the story of how one country banned Jollibee, and how that single decision made them regret it forever. It started in a small European nation, incredibly proud of its culinary traditions. They valued their local food, artisan bread, aged cheese, hearty soups, and rustic stews. Anything foreign, especially fast food, was treated with suspicion. So when Jollibee, the Filipino fast food giant, announced plans to open its first branch there, the reaction wasn't excitement. It was outrage. Local newspapers ran headlines screaming, "Foreign chain threatens national food culture." Prominent food critics called it a plastic version of culture, deep-fried colonialism. Politicians, sensing a popular cause, made fiery speeches, declaring, "We will not allow another foreign chain to replace our beloved local kitchens." The government, under immense public pressure, stepped in. Citing vague health standards and import restrictions, they banned Jollibee's operations entirely. And just like that, it was over. No crispy, juicy Chickenjoy, no sweet, iconic Jolly spaghetti, no intoxicating smell of savory gravy drifting through the streets. The smiling bee was gone before it even had a chance to arrive. For a while, people thought nothing had changed. Locals kept enjoying their traditional sandwiches, soups, and stews. Life seemed to go on as normal. But then, something strange and wonderful began to happen. The Filipinos living there, the nurses, caregivers, engineers, and their families, started sharing food online. Small backyard meetups and potlucks turned into impromptu celebrations of their culture, centered around homemade-style Chickenjoy. Photos and videos flooded Facebook and TikTok. Brown cardboard boxes adorned with hand-drawn bees and smiles far wider than any politician's grin. The captions read, "You can ban the restaurant, but you can't ban the happiness it brings." Before long, locals started to get curious. What's so special about this chicken? What is in that bright red spaghetti sauce that makes people look so incredibly happy when they eat it? They wanted to find out, but they couldn't, because the brand was officially banned. Their curiosity was met with a dead end. Meanwhile, the rest of the world was falling head over heels for Jollibee. In New York City, people were lining up for 3 hours, braving the elements just to get a bucket of Chickenjoy. In London, celebrities were spotted eating Jolly spaghetti on their live streams, creating viral moments. In Dubai, taxi drivers proudly recommended Jollibee to tourists, calling it the happiest meal in the world. The phenomenon became a global story. Documentaries were made about the brand's cult following. Food vloggers from every corner of the globe were calling it the McDonald's of happiness. Even major news outlets like the BBC and CNN were running features, concluding, "Jollibee isn't just food, it's Filipino emotion in a box." And then, the inevitable happened. That same European country that had banned it started watching its neighbors open Jollibee branches one by one. Their own citizens were crossing borders, not for museums or scenic beaches, but for fried chicken and spaghetti. The irony was palpable. The situation hit its peak when one of their own celebrities went viral. A famous travel vlogger on a trip abroad posted a video titled, "I tried Jollibee for the first time, and I finally understand." In the video, he said, "I get why Filipinos love it so much. This isn't just fast food, this is comfort. This is joy. This feels like childhood memories, even if they aren't mine." The video exploded, hitting 50 million views in a single week. The comment section was a flood of regret and longing from his home country. Why on earth did our country ban this? We need this here, now. I drove 6 hours last weekend just to eat this. It was a digital uprising fueled by a craving for something they were told they didn't need. The ultimate irony? Local restaurants in that country started secretly trying to copy Jollibee's recipes. You'd see signs for Joy Chicken, Bee Burgers, and Happy Pasta. It was a quiet, almost embarrassing admission. They missed what they had once mocked so fiercely. But the Filipino community? They didn't respond with anger or gloating. They responded with kindness and generosity. They organized home-based Jollibee-style pop-ups, sharing their food with curious locals. They used these meals to tell stories of family, of homesickness, and of the unwavering hope that kept them going. They weren't just serving food, They were serving connection. And that's when everything changed. Within a year, thousands of signatures flooded the country's online petitions, all demanding one thing: lift the ban. One letter in particular stood out. It was written by a 9-year-old girl, half local and half Filipino. It read, "Please bring back Jollibee. My mom smiles when she eats it, and I want to see her smile again." That simple, heartfelt letter reached the country's parliament. It was read aloud during a government session, and it broke the cold political silence in the room. Weeks later, the announcement was made. The ban was lifted. The day the first Jollibee opened in the capital city was monumental. The line stretched for 4 city blocks. Reporters who had once written critical articles were now there with tears in their eyes. Old food critics publicly apologized. And the Filipinos? They were singing karaoke and dancing while they waited patiently in line. When the first piece of Chickenjoy was finally served, a hush fell over the crowd. That smell, warm, savory, and deeply nostalgic, filled the air like an old friend returning home. As people took their first bite, they realized it was never just about the fried chicken. It was about belonging. It was about how food can be a story that connects hearts, bridges cultures, and reminds us all that you can ban a brand, but you can never, ever ban the joy it brings. So next time you see that little red bee smiling on a box, remember this story, because that bee doesn't just sell food. It sells happiness, and no border, no ban, and no law can ever stop that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more.